which I touched on a little bit that I was going to go over, is what is next once you hit a certain level in your tech? What is ready for the future for your tech? I'm going to go into some battle reports as well as areas to work on to improve. Especially this should help you with 3v3. So the first thing I'm going to go into is the tech. So your ultimate goal, what ends up happening is once you get to the certain level, you unlock the mastery. So at Special Forces 80 is when you can unlock certain hero types. So you can unlock the mastery, which will be your, whether it's aircraft, missile, tank. My suggestion is do one at a time. There are whales out there who can't do all three, but we're going to touch on that a little bit later. Work on that because that's also one of the only ways that you can upgrade your troop march, which in turn will upgrade your morale. So that'd be huge. And then once you get to that level, you're going to get a lot of bonuses. There's a synergy that's in for, I'm using air for example. There's an attack boost, and the tree just really repeats itself. So it's attack boost, synergy, damage increase, damage reduction. You want to level all these up to level 8. They're all around the same cost. So when you go into, for example, air mastery, you want to start to level these up and then repeat that cycle, right? Because it's going to help you tremendously. Whether it's air or tank or missile, whatever you're pushing, focus on one. Because like I said, it gets super expensive. Down the road, what happens after Season 2, you unlock what's called the tactical tree. And that requires you to have 110%. So essentially, you have to have all your mastery done, which is super, super expensive. So that you have to do mastery air, missile, and tank. And it's going to cost you so much valor, so much, probably over 100,000 in that. And the weapon upgrades are about 19,000 for each one. So it's really, it's really to focus on one and not really even bother with that. It gets so expensive. But your goal should be by then as well is if you have your special forces to 80, you should have at least your defense or siege in the, mid 10 to 12 range. And then what you could start to do once you have mastery is maybe 20% of mastery, 20 or 30. And then you can go another round to 40 if you really wanted to. Go back to siege, go to your defense, go back to your mastery, get it to 60, and then go back to your siege, get your defense to 40 and 50 range, mastery tech. You can kind of push these any way you want, but obviously these siege and defense are player versus player directly, right? So they're going to directly help you. So that's one of my things that I suggest. Now, as far as a battle report, everyone's looking for power. Everyone's trying to figure out how they can win. So my suggestion is there's not just one way. So we can just go into the ones I just lost recently, and we'll look at these. So let's see. I don't really care how I lost. I just want to see what their stats are, just so I can say. To me, that doesn't really matter. So let's just see how they beat me. So we can see here, again, this is my second squad, so I'm not really too worried about it. But we can see that the stats are, looks like in his favor, but I don't think they really are, which they clearly aren't. You can see here my chips, and you can also see my drone. But you can see the HP. The HP difference in this is crazy to me. You can see a huge difference, but my biggest thing that I look at is the tech. You can see the areas that I'm covering are clearly going in the right direction. The areas that I still need to work on that I'm already working on, just my missile, it seems to be the least amount, and some other errors in tank, which again, I'm not too worried. But like, give an example, here's one. So let's look at this one. So we can see here, this one, excuse me. This is my second squad as well. But again, I just want to see comparison where my tank is, where all my gear and everything else is. So really, like I said, what comes into play is going to be your drone components, your chips, and all of this here, as well as what your heroes look like. Because like I said, if you have a hero, for example, I'll pull this one up. I'm pretty sure this person had it. If you have a hero that has I think Carly's the one who had it. Let's see if I can find it. Where's Carly at? It might not have been this person, but I'm looking. Someone I went against had Carly to a red radar. I just want to show you guys what I'm talking about. If I can find it, let me see. I think it's this one. I'm pretty sure it's this one. So we go here, we look here. Carly's right here. All right, so he's DVA. Even with that, just show an example. So you can see he's highly more offense. Didn't really push too much of his other heroes. Obviously, there's all mixed, so it's hard to really say what it is. His chips are all mixed with purple. His components are around the same. He has a slight edge on me on certain things. But again, I come down here and I look at it. Majority of it, I'm pretty much a lot further than he is, or at least similar in statute, which is not bad. I'm just losing based off that. The other thing you have to come into play is if I'm going against an all missile or missile and some air and I'm all air, they're automatically getting 2 buffs. They're getting 20% damage increase and they're getting a 20% damage reduction. And that goes for air against tanks. So you have to keep that in factors. So if you're going mainly air, like you can start to see the trend, then start to focus on the areas that you're weak at, right? So that should come directly into play. I'm just looking at some of the people I went against just to see as far as what they look like. But you want to directly work on the areas that you need, right? So when I come in here, I already know my areas I'm working on is my units morale. I need to get these up to boost. Kind of ran out of this. And this is where my next part I go into is I'm not going to tell you, I already explained this in previous videos, but I just want to show you why I like engineering and why I think I go this way and then I switch through the season. The amount of resources, if you haven't pushed T10s, and this is why I said I'm in no rush, this will help you tremendously. Right here, you're getting double your rewards for the same price for your contributions. That's going to help you there. This is going to give you a rapid production for 4 hours of your output. It has a cooldown, right? So right there. Then you have a research and speed ups for free, right? And then here I like is also does the same thing. It gives you immediate reduce the time by 240 minutes. And there. This is where it gets really good because I like this is boost your research speed, but really right here at level 35. Reduce your cost for tech research and reduce your cost for building. That's going to be huge. What are the biggest problems that most people face? Resources, right? So this is going to help to alleviate some of that and help you grow faster. So maybe instead of it costing you $300,000 for T10s, it will cost you, I don't know, $200,000. I don't know the breakdown because I haven't seen it completely based off where I am right now. But you can see here that you have 5 of them. So my guess would be it's probably pretty hefty. Probably going to say it's a 5%, which is huge. So let's just see what it is for here, and we can just estimate if I'm right, which I haven't been wrong yet. So let's just say it is 500. Let's just round down for sake and say it's 500 million, right? 5% of that, you can do the math there. It's a lot. So really, like I said, you really want to focus on your gear if you can. That's where the gloating marker one's in. Worry about your drone. So I'll show you the other avenue that I really like here too. So this is great as well. Obviously your goal is to get them all equal, but this one's great, the memory ultra fusion, because if you read this here, the drone bombs, your back row aircrafts receive a 10% boost on damage increase at the same time. Reduce all the enemy tactics by 7% for 3 seconds. That's a huge thing. Pairing it with everything else. And like I said, the drone components the drone chips are not gonna make you like astronomical compared to where if you have a drone component pop off, you're gonna go through the roof. But it's going to help you in battles, right? So like I said, look at where you're at. We'll just come here out. I'm just gonna pull up a random one. I'll show you. So we lost this one. Let's look at here. So we can see this is obviously my third March, but we can see here I want to work defense, and I can see how much physical damage he took and how much energy damage, right? So that kind of comes into play. But again, the radar is probably the best red one you're going to do, which I'm going to explain in a video tomorrow when I go through it. But we can see here, like my drone is just a lot better. But again, it all depends on the lineup you're going against. And looking down here, So again, like I said, you want to really push your, really want to focus on those areas you need to. I like to do a skew. I like to go against players relatively my size or my lineup and go through those 5 and find the 5 that I lost that have this similar statute that I do and where I need to improve. And then I go from there. So again, your research, focus heavily on that. When it starts to come out, you get to, special forces, break it down like we went over. You can go in spurts and it repeats itself just like this tree right here for your heroes. It just repeats itself just like that. It keeps going down. So obviously work there and then work back, because you don't want to have it to where you're lacking in one area. Your goal is to try and make it as even as possible and try to counteract what people you're going against are doing. So I hope this video helps you guys. I hope it gives you an idea or direction where you should go, whether it's your profession or what to start building after you hit a certain level in special forces, when to push the defense modifications or the siege, and all those things. If you guys have any other questions, any videos you want to see, Twitch, Discord, or in the game, again, all my videos get uploaded to YouTube at the end of the week, sometimes earlier. The last thing I'd say is we're close to our goal for October. I'm investing in certain things so you guys don't have to, and I can work on it and see how it works. If you do want to invest and help grow the account and help to get this as big as you can, just reach out to me and I'll send you the info. So I hope this guys helps, and I hope you guys have an understanding of where to go and what to do. And until next time, I'll see you guys out there. Later.